No female lead, slow rhythm. Qi Xiao travels to the world of job transfers for all. Here is a celestial space containing countless dungeons. Want to become stronger? Want to change your destiny? Want to become a master? Then go to the heavenly space and conquer various dungeons. In the heavenly space, Qi Xiao transferred to become a priest and awakened his talent of calmness and tranquility. Calm and calm. Any spell cast for less than 10 seconds will become an instant spell with no cooldown. Wealth, equipment, points, artifacts. Qi Xiao wants everything. One day, the name of Qi Xiao will resound throughout the sky. Chapter 1 Talent. Calm and leisure. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Poker writers don't know how to say witty things, so give readers a thumbs up. Pop pop pop. Please be merciful, everyone. The cicadas outside the classroom window are chirping. Qi Xiao sat in the window seat in the back row, looking at a row of brand new textbooks placed on the table. A Brief History of Celestial Space, complete collection of known dungeons in the Celestial Space, detailed explanation of monsters in the first-level dungeon of the Heavenly Sky Space, topographic details of the first-floor copy of the Heavenly Sky Space, on close combat, detailed explanation of remote attack mechanism, 10 strategies for professional self-protection in the legal system, spirit, endurance chapter. On how to become more persistent in combat, a comprehensive list of existing professions in the sky space, providing reference for your career development. Latest included until 195th year, 5-year simulation, 3-year practical battle, sky integral theory. Are these all divine horse things? When Qi Xiao was in a daze, memories of the original owner of his body flooded into his mind. Complex memories make the brain feel bloated and painful. It took a whole minute to complete digestion. Can you travel all night playing? Qi Xiao quickly adjusted his mentality. Let's just travel through time, there's nothing to cherish anyway. He has the same name as the original owner of the body and is a sophomore student at Han City No. 1 High School. Looking at these slender arms and legs, combined with memories in the brain. Qi Xiao wiped a tear from the corner of his eye and said, "Brother, your life is also very difficult. But it's also good. You go to heaven to reunite with your parents, and I will use your body to reopen. Don't worry, I will use this body well. Jie. Cough 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 cough. Such a smile is not appropriate. Today is a big day that determines future destiny. High school sophomore students who pass the test can enter the heavenly space, obtain professional identity, and awaken their talents. Qi Xiao is completely not worried about this, because both parents have passed away, without money or a house. Back by the window, Wang's hometown. At the beginning. It's true that Ba Fu has gathered everything. With this mysterious blessing, it would be difficult for Qi Xiao not to become the son of fate. Don't be proud, don't be careless. Take a deep breath. His awakening is only 10 minutes away, so find something to do first. Qi Xiao calmed down his mood and pulled out a 1-finger-long, professional encyclopedia. After quickly scanning the directory, he flipped to the combat melee output class. Tomahawk Warrior, Dragon Knight, Mad Swordsman, It feels pretty good. Continuing to flip back, Qi Xiao was completely stunned when he saw the combat comprehensive category. Sleeping Trough. Sword Immortal. Magic Sword Envoy. Can this and this be part of the same system? Just as he was amazed by the richness of his profession. On the corridor outside the classroom. A rapid sound of footsteps came from the air. I only heard a few teachers shouting. Hurry up, hurry up. Let's all work harder, the clinic is coming soon. It's okay, I've already put him on the recovery button, there's still time. Oh my. What's bothering me? Aren't combat-related professions good? When this classmate teleported back, I saw that his face was not right, and I didn't expect to have his pulse cut. His Qi Xiao was so shocked that he took a deep breath. Are you so involved in job transfers that you need to cut your veins and reopen? He doesn't understand why classmates who commit suicide can't take it seriously. A few minutes later. The footsteps of the homeroom teacher could be heard outside the door, but Mu Qin walked quickly into the classroom. She wore a high ponytail today, a white short-sleeved T-shirt, and tight jeans. The skin is fair and tender, with a curvy figure that is refreshing and dry. She, with a slightly furrowed eyebrow, was wiping her hands with a medical white gauze. After throwing the slightly blood-stained gauze into the trash can, she spoke up. No matter how dissatisfied you may be with the outcome of a job transfer, the fact cannot be changed. Therefore, everyone must always remind themselves that life is not about winning a good hand, but about playing the cards in your hand to the best level. Looking at the puzzled eyes below the stage, Yumuching changed his face and said sternly, "Do you understand?" "I understand." The classmates shouted back loudly. Qi Xiao closed his eyes and felt this moment. Yes, that's the taste. The lost student time has come back. Okay, stand up from the first row and follow me to the playground to gather. Yumuching turned around and walked out of the classroom. The sound of the tables and chairs moving was piercing. The students gradually got up and followed Yumuching out of the classroom. In the center of the playground, the huge teleportation array is shimmering with a light purple light. Outside the venue, a high school freshman taking a physical fitness class was looking enviously at the inside, clutching the barbed wire. Qi Xiao stood behind the assembled team, looking up at the suspended celestial space in the sky. Huge, oppressive, and colorful. I saw the teaching director walking to the front of the team with his hands down. Classmates, once you enter the space and confirm your profession and talent, you will immediately teleport back. Other things will be done after free activities. Anyone who stays in the space and comes back late will have their Tianqiong subsidy cancelled. Have you heard all of this? Listen carefully. Under the guidance of the teaching director, the students entered the formation one by one, transforming into light of different colors and gradually disappearing. Qi Xiao followed closely behind and walked quickly into the teleportation array. With a silent teleportation in his heart, he transformed into a golden light and disappeared directly Shua. Vital signs are normal, starting to switch jobs. Transfer successful. Starting to awaken talent. Welcome, heavenly sky. The sound in my ear disappeared. When his gaze returned, Qi Xiao found himself standing on a square. The square is filled with strange and hurried celestial figures. A holographic projection interface appeared in front of Qi Xiao. In the center of the interface, personal information is displayed. Name: Qi Xiao, occupation: pastor, talent: calm and composed. All spells with a casting time of less than 10 seconds will become instant spells with no cooldown. Rating: not advanced, sky integral. 0, pastor. Calm and composed. It seems pretty good. Although there is a gap with psychological expectations, it is still within an acceptable range. As the saying goes, the assistance of iron is the output of flowing water. The future is relatively bright. Shwa shwa shwa. After noticing the disappearance of nearby classmates, Qi Xiao also returned to the real world. Open your eyes again. Qi Xiao has appeared on the teleportation array. He felt the skin on the back of his left hand tighten violently. I saw an imprint on the back of my left hand, holding a red heart in both hands. At a distance of 5 meters from the teleportation array, Yumuching waved and shouted, "Students from Class 8, Grade 2, come and gather here." Quickly, everyone has arrived and returned to the classroom in groups. Everyone has different expressions, some are excited and some are depressed. As soon as Qi Xiao returned to his seat and sat down, he saw Mu Qin carrying a stack of registration forms into the classroom. After handing the divided registration form to the first row of students, she loudly said, Students who have received the form should truthfully fill in their professions and submit them for automatic activity. Students who want to go to the sky space can hold down the imprint on the back of their hands and silently recite the teleportation, without the need to use the teleportation array on the playground. The first class in the afternoon will be divided into classes, and after the division, the summer advanced schedule will be announced. Therefore, do not stay in the space for too long, do not go to the entertainment area, and do not team up with strangers. Late arrivals will be treated as absenteeism, and the sky subsidy will also be cancelled. Have you all heard this clearly? Listen carefully. Qi Xiao received the registration form from his classmate at the front desk. The registration form is very simple, with only 4 lines. Name, occupation, talent, and volunteer planning. After filling out the form, Qi Xiao came to the podium with the registration form and handed it to Yumuqing. Yumuqing took it and raised his eyebrows slightly. Pastor. Auxiliary Department. Let me see your print. Qi Xiao revealed the back of his left hand. He knows that Yumuqing is also an auxiliary department. You can move freely now, remember not to run around, don't team up with strangers, don't go on time, entertainment, district, and don't be late in the afternoon. Got it. As soon as Qi Xiao walked out of the classroom, he heard Yumuqing's roar. Are you all practicing calligraphy? Writing is so slow. Hand it in quickly. Holding down the imprint and silently teleporting, Qi Xiao's figure disappeared into the corridor. Qi Xiao, who appeared on the Tianqiong Square, was no longer as curious as when he arrived earlier. He called up the interface, clicked on the Skills module, and saw 2 initial skills. Light Punishment. Instantly cast, dealing 18 points of light damage to single targets within 30 meters. Consumes 20 points of mana. Secondary Healing Technique. Instant, healing target, restoring 50 health points. Consumes 30 mana points. Don't worry, the skill's instant release is definitely a talent at work. Qi Xiao plans to test the skill effect and explore the casting technique. The square is a safe area and one cannot use the light punishment randomly, so Qi Xiao applied a secondary healing spell to himself due to mental thoughts. The golden light came. Buzz. A brilliant golden light instantly enveloped Qi Xiao's entire body. Although Qi Xiao was covered in blood, bathed in the golden light, he still felt warm all over, as if soaking in a hot spring. Cool. This feeling is fascinating. The effect quickly dissipated, and he cast a secondary healing spell again, intending to savor it. But the golden light did not descend. Huh. What's going on? Just as he was puzzled, a warning sound rang in his ear. Your mana value is insufficient. Chapter 2. Requires a trigger. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Insufficient mana value. How could it be that the skill was only cast once? Wait. Qi Xiao thought of something and immediately summoned the panel to search for it. Finally, he found the reason in the combat record. Your secondary healing technique has treated you with 0 health points, 66 excessive healing points. Your secondary healing technique has treated you with 0 health points, 66 excessive healing points. Your secondary healing technique has treated you with 0 health points, 66 excessive healing points. Your secondary healing technique has treated you with 0 health points, 66 excessive healing points. Your secondary healing technique has treated you with 0 health points, 66 excessive healing points. Ah. Just now, with just a thought, the skill was instantly cast 5 times. Directly used up all the mana points. Qi Xiao quickly opened the personal attributes panel to take a look. Health. 120/120, mana value. 11/160, endurance. 12, for every 1 point increase in endurance, health is increased by 10 points. Spirit. 8, for every 1 point increase in spirit, mana value increases by 20 points, spell damage increases by 2 points, mana recovery increases by 0.5% per second, casting speed increases by 0.1%, and maximum limit is 80%. Strength. 3. For every 1 point increase in strength, parry increases by 0.1% and physical damage increases by 2 points. Agility. 3. For every 1 point increase in agility, dodge, movement speed, and close-range attack speed increase by 0.1%, with an upper limit of 80%. Sure enough, there are only 11 mana points left. Is this talent a bit? It's so amazing. I'm lying down. Qi Xiao exclaimed excitedly. Although he couldn't control his inner surprise and shouted loudly. In the ocean of noise in the square, it is no different from silence. His skill, Light Punishment, has a basic damage of 18 points, and 8 points of spirit can provide an additional 16 points of spell damage. So, his Light Punishment actual damage is 34. Each cast consumes 20 mana points. That means he can instantly hit 8 times, dealing a total of 272 damage. If my spiritual value is high enough, I can destroy the gods in 1 second. Thinking of this, Qi Xiao felt his heart beating faster. Sure enough, his blessings have come into effect. What is the difference between this talent and Gatling? Invincible. With this talent, as long as his attributes and equipment meet the standards, he can try to single-brush dungeons. When the time comes, what more teammates are needed? I want everything in the dungeon. After being excited, Qi Xiao quickly calmed down. He remembered that the description of talent on the registration form he had just submitted to Yu Muqing was completely incorrect. The registration form describes that it can instantly cast the next spell. That's right, this is his understanding after seeing the talent explanation. Obviously, there is a great deviation in his understanding of talent. However, it doesn't matter. If it's wrong, and the impact is not significant. Qi Xiao quickly forgot about this matter. Now, he is more concerned about another issue. That's because the mana value is severely insufficient, which means ammunition. In practical combat, let alone Qing Yaojin's 3-board axe. As long as the spell is cast, there will be no drop left in 1 second. This won't work. Men need to last. I need a trigger. Yes, Qi Xiao wants to equip his Gatling with a highly sensitive trigger instead of the current switch button. Just gently pull the trigger to achieve different needs for shot or combo. Qi Xiao decided to find his ideal trigger through practice. Tianqiong Square is a safe zone. Located in the square, Qi Xiao's mana recovery speed will be much faster. After waiting for 10 seconds, his mana was fully restored. Perform secondary healing again. Sure enough, it was another second to clear the mana. It's okay, I have plenty of time. Qi Xiao is not in a hurry, this has just begun. It's a bit boring to just stand and wait for mana to recover like this. So Qi Xiao planned to familiarize himself with the celestial space during the practice period. The celestial space is roughly divided into 6 major regions. In the center is the dungeon area that leads directly to the depths of the sky. Surrounding the dungeon area, it is divided into 5 equal parts. The public entertainment area, the trade area, the competition area, the commission area, and the points mall. He walks freely in various areas of the space, casting secondary healing spells every few seconds to find his touch. Time soon arrived at noon. Qi Xiao, who is in the points mall, plans to exit the space and return to reality to have lunch. Suddenly, a notification sounded in the sky. Dear Skywalker, the public entertainment area will randomly distribute 10 pieces of insect rhinoceros pork chop in 5 minutes. Taking this delicacy can permanently increase your strength by 2 points and will not be included in the rating assessment. Wow! As soon as this announcement was made, almost all the celestial beings stopped in their tracks. Qi Xiao could only hear a celestial figure beside him whispering, "Teleport to the public entertainment area." Whoosh! A light and shadow instantly disappeared. Whoosh whoosh! In the blink of an eye, the originally bustling square instantly reduced its number by 99%. Only Qi Xiao and some equally puzzled celestial beings remained. How could Qi Xiao miss this kind of excitement? So Qi Xiao whispered, "Send the public entertainment area." But he turned into light and heard the system prompt sound again. "Your rating is not advanced and you are not authorized to use the teleportation function." Gone. Qi Xiao then ran towards the public entertainment area. The public entertainment area is very dangerous. Except for the public areas, the large and small entertainment venues set up in the area are strictly prohibited from students by the school. Because self-forced duels can be initiated within the venue, the challenged party cannot refuse the invitation. Many low-level celestial beings who have been deceived to that place are prone to being launched into free duels by high-level celestial beings. If we cannot satisfy the extortion of high-level celestial beings, the outcome will be a dead end. In just 2 minutes, Qi Xiao was performing secondary healing while running into the public entertainment area. Squeezing into the public area, Qi Xiao saw the towering sky, which had already occupied the entire public entertainment area. But as the number of people continues to increase, the scope of the public entertainment area has started to expand. At the same time, Qi Xiao's panel automatically wakes up. There are still 2 minutes and 35 seconds until the release of insect rhinoceros pork chop. So, for the long 2 minutes, Qi Xiao continued to practice. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 more until the release of insect rhinoceros pork chop. Unfortunately, you were unable to obtain insect rhinoceros pork chop. Seeing the system prompt, Qi Xiao didn't take this matter to heart. Originally intended to be the denominator. He was about to leave when he heard the sound of the sky coming from his ear again. "I am the Green Demon, and I am willing to purchase insect rhinoceros pork chop at a price of 20,000 Qianxiong coins per piece. My coordinates are 114514 in the public entertainment area. At Shedu Boat, I spent 30,000 Qianxiong coins to purchase insect rhinoceros pork chop. I am in the trade zone at 9981. My name is Shah Brahman, and I am offering 50,000 sky coins to purchase insect rhinoceros pork chop. I am in the public entertainment area at 439622200. My name is Muhammad bin Hassan, and I am offering 100,000 sky coins to acquire insect rhinoceros pork chop. I am in the commission area of 1397091. Green Magic. 110000, Fairy. 120,000 yuan. Marine Le Pen. 130000, Shah Brahman. 150000, Ivanovich Ivanov. 180000, Muhammad bin Hassan. 200000. The continuous sound of announcements in his ears made Qi Xiao and the crowd around him shudder. These strong guys are so impressive. One shout can earn you 100 points. What a waste, you should give it to me. I want to exchange attribute points. They can earn thousands of points in one night, but this kind of tradable food is rare. I'm sure they plan to leave it for their family and friends. That's right, for them, points are just a small matter. The key is the Qianxiong coin, which is directly linked to various countries' currencies, indicating that they are also wealthy in the real world. Terrifying as ever. I am curious now who the chef who submitted the Space Commission is. He will develop in the future. When he is listed in bulk in the trade zone, it will definitely cause frenzy. The ingredients are definitely not easy to prepare. It's been a while since we've had a similar event in the space. Qi Xiao used a secondary healing technique while listening to the chatter and alternating announcements in his ear. In the celestial space, celestial points cannot be traded. And Tianqiong coin is the trading medium of Tianqiong space. According to the latest exchange rate, one Tianqiong coin is equivalent to approximately 12 yuan. These tycoons are really outrageous. Qi Xiao thought, if he could get a stake, wouldn't he just take off in place? First, go to the trading area and buy all the mana potions, then go to the dungeon and brush while knocking. Quickly, the purchase price of insect rhinoceros pork chop skyrocketed from 200,000 to 450,000. The celestial beings lingering in the space exclaimed in shock like waves crashing on the shore. Shah Brahman. Okay, everyone likes to play like this, right? Then I'll pay 600,000. Please start performing. Green magic. Pass. Crossing the boat. The Shah leader's arrogance soars to the sky. Marine Le Pen. P. Muhammad. After a brief pause, the celestial beings of space heard the roar of Shah Brahman. Shah Brahman. Ah. You are so despicable. Amidst a burst of laughter and cheers, Qi Xiao shook his head with a smile and returned to the real world by pressing on the print. Chapter 3. Distribution of subsidies by class. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Returning to reality, Qi Xiao reappeared at the door of the classroom. As soon as he entered the cafeteria, he saw his former roommate, Xiao Bang. Although they are from different classes, their relationship is very close. At this moment, Chopin was digging out the rice from the bowl with a gloomy expression on his face. Seeing Qi Xiao sitting across from him, tears couldn't stop flowing down his face and he burst into tears. Lao Qi, how miserable I am. Why is it so miserable? Let's hear it and make our brothers happy. I'm done, so I changed my job and became a cook. My talent is even more outrageous, increasing my strength by 10%. I'm Nima. Is this combination for me to use a kitchen knife to chop monsters? Qi Xiao grabbed the mantou from Chopin's dinner plate and ate it. Isn't the chef pretty good? What a bullshit. The production department can't even try to break into the Heavenly Sky dungeon. You said, after the afternoon shift, Xiaowan knows about this, will she break up with me? Isn't Xiaowan already separated from you? Qi Xiao took Chopin's chopsticks and put a piece of braised pork belly in his mouth. Ah. Oh, right. It's not Xiaowan. I remember the wrong name, it's Xiaolu. Xiaolu is the upper one. Ah. Is it the previous one? Let me take a look. Chopin took out his phone and flipped through the records, giving his mind a quick tap. You see how heartbroken I am, how could I forget about Bing Bing? I'm so damn. Qi Xiao ate mantou in 3 or 2 bites, and took seaweed soup with egg blossom and poured it down. The original owner didn't have a big stomach, so he's only half full now. Seeing Qi Xiao preparing to go get his fried chicken legs, Xiao Bang raised his hand and slapped him away. Leave some for me. Chopin broke the chicken legs in half and handed the boneless meat to Qi Xiao. His roommate has to work at a nearby restaurant every day after school to earn living expenses and also solve the problem of food and clothing. So Chopin always takes Qi Xiao out to eat under the guise of treating guests and helping his roommates improve their lives. Qi Xiao's original owner was not foolish either, and naturally felt grateful in his heart. So the two became friends. You have such a good appetite, shouldn't your profession be good? Is it a combat genre? Well, Pastor, your talent is also just right. Sleeping slot. Big Dad in the auxiliary department. You've finally changed your fate against the heavens. In the future, big shots should take care of me more. It's necessary, Qi Xiao said, holding up half of the chicken leg. With this friendship, I will cover you up. Chopin nodded and quickly bought 2 chicken legs and 2 cans of cola. He ran back with his plate in hand, celebrating Qi Xiao's successful transfer. Come on, eat chicken legs in a big pot. Drink Kualuo. Qi Xiao didn't see anything outside and took it over while eating, saying, "I just saw a wonderful scene in the sky space." He told Chopin once about a group of big shots bidding for food. "So, I think chefs have great potential. You can improve your professional skills as soon as possible and make a fortune in the future. Okay. Little brother, remember." Chopin said so, but he didn't quite believe it in his heart. How could it be his turn for such a thing? A space delicacy that can sell hundreds of thousands of sky coins per serving, making it difficult to obtain ingredients. Qi Xiao saw that Xiao Bang didn't believe him, but he didn't say anything. Because in Chopin's view, Qi Xiao's words were nothing more than comforting him. Qi Xiao, who had just finished a meal in vain, felt the sensation of returning to space to find the trigger after parting ways with Chopin. Hard work pays off to those who have a heart. Although Qi Xiao is not yet proficient in handling it, he has been able to successfully reduce the number of instant secondary healing techniques from 5 to 4. A good start is half the battle. Qi Xiao is becoming more and more confident in himself. 5 minutes before class, Qi Xiao returned from the sky to the classroom. He had just returned to his seat when he saw Mu Qing enter the classroom. Mu Qing's eyes were watery. Although she had already demonstrated her makeup, the students could tell at a glance that the teacher had just cried. "Anyone who has been assigned a name, come up and get your class results." The first one, Lu 1. The students who were called out one after another took the notes on stage. After seeing the results of class division, they began to tidy up their textbooks and left the classroom with desks and chairs. Not long after, the originally lively class was left with Qi Xiao sitting by the window alone. After seeing that Mu Qing didn't name him, Qi Xiao knew he didn't need to be divided into different classes. Mu Qing looked at the empty class and tears fell again. The transfer results of all high school sophomore students have been counted and completed. The result can be said to be extremely poor. The top 50 students who have high expectations from school leaders and teachers in various subjects have not transferred to the combat department. Yes, there is no combat system. It's not an exaggeration to describe it as killed in action. At the moment of receiving the result, Mu Qing burst into tears. 5 minutes later, Qi Xiao saw 15 classmates carrying tables and chairs into the classroom. "Don't worry, these people must be in auxiliary professions. Alright, there aren't many people in our class, so students can sit down as they please." Mu Qing looked at the students entering the class, his eyes couldn't hide his disappointment, and his heart was even more sorrowful. The dozens of students who received almost full marks in all aspects and were highly expected by her to have great potential in assisting the department, none of whom came yes, none of the expected faces appeared. Even one is good. The result of Tianqiong Space's job transfer is too cruel. Except for a few who have been transferred to the combat department, the rest have been transferred to the production department. This is not good news. After all the classmates sat down, Mu Qing stood up and wrote a coordinate on the blackboard. Copy area 384159552. I believe all of my classmates know me, so I won't introduce myself. Actually, there is another classmate in our class who can't come at the moment due to something. We won't wait for him. Now, please remember the coordinates, and we will meet in the sky space. Mu Qing lightly tapped the imprint on the back of his hand and it disappeared immediately. Upon seeing this, Qi Xiao also held down the print and activated the teleportation. Enter the heavenly space and Qi Xiao opens the map. After arriving at the coordinate position, he saw a stunning woman wearing an off-the-shoulder long dress, wearing a gemstone crown, and holding a golden gemstone staff. She covered her face with thin gauze, ignoring the unfamiliar celestial beings who approached to speak. "Yu Lao Ban." Qi Xiao was about to inquire when he saw a pair of beautiful eyes from the woman sweeping towards him. Immediately, she waved and said, "Qi Xiao, come and gather at my place." It's really Qi Xiao ran to Mu Qing's side and saw the prompt message on the pop.up interface. Yunwoo invites you to join the team. Yunwoo sends you a friend request. After Qi Xiao agreed, he heard Yumuqing's words. Let's wait for other classmates here first. Oh. Qi Xiao stood on the side, constantly casting spells to find a feeling. Yumuqing did not pay attention to Qi Xiao's strange behavior. When students first arrive at the celestial space, they will definitely have curiosity. Any strange behavior can be understood. In less than 5 minutes, all 15 classmates in the same class arrived at the required coordinate gathering point. After everyone joined the team, Yumuqing said, "Now I will distribute the Heavenly Sky subsidy to everyone, which includes a set of equipment, a bag of cool spring water, a portion of dry bread, 20 bottles of primary life potion, and 20 bottles of primary magic potion. If anyone misses or misses less, please remind me. A set of equipment. 40 bottles of medicine. Wow, are the benefits of the auxiliary department so good?" Qi Xiao was thinking about how to save subsidies and accumulate resources for himself when he heard a female classmate raise her hand and say arrogantly, "Teacher, my dad has hired a substitute training team for me. Can I not participate in the team formed by the school?" "Sure," Yumuqing nodded and continued, "but once you decide to withdraw, you will not be able to receive subsidies from the school and will not be able to participate in activities organized by the school in the future." "I don't like that subsidy." The female classmate finished speaking and deliberately raised her hair, showing a sense of superiority in her behavior. "Then you can stand aside and wait. After I have divided the other students' teams, you and I can go back to the classroom and sign a guarantee letter before we can leave." "No need, my dad will send the guarantee letter to the principal." Subsequently, Qi Xiao saw a pop-up message on the interface. Miao Shuebing has withdrawn from the team. Miao Shuebing let out a proud snort, then turned around and followed 4 people dressed in gorgeous equipment, entering the nearby dungeon in front of Yumuqing and her classmates. "Cut, what's there to show off? Isn't it faster in the early stages? It's the same for everyone in the later stages." "That's right, there are a few high-level thugs at home, and I don't know who I am anymore." Upon hearing the discussion from his classmates, Yumuqing stopped and said, "Is there anyone else who wants to withdraw? If not, I'll start distributing subsidies." She first initiated a transaction application to Qi Xiao, who was still casting spells beside her. "Qi Xiao, stop playing and get your subsidy." "Okay." Qi Xiao quickly agreed. Chapter 4. Team Allocation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After receiving the Tianxiong subsidy from Yumuqing, Qi Xiao quickly opened his personal space to check. In the space, there are 20 bottles of primary healing potions that can immediately restore health, and 20 bottles of primary mana potions that can restore mana. Eat 50 servings of dry bread and drink 50 servings of cool spring water each. As for equipment, there are 8 high-quality, linen armor suit, 1, foam wand, 1, secondary magic wand, and 2, quartz rings. The quality of equipment, from low to high, can be divided into ordinary, white, excellent, green, excellent, blue, epic, purple, legendary, orange, and artifact, red. Among them, ordinary quality equipment generally has no wearable value and is used as a substrate for practicing production skills in production professions, serving as a higher quality equipment. After distributing the subsidy, Yumuqing said to everyone, "Starting from today, after finishing the dungeon activity every day, students need to submit the materials obtained from the dungeon to me in exchange for the subsidy the next day. Starting from the second day, the subsidy will only be given for medicine and food. Only when the equipment is damaged and cannot be worn can you come to me for a new one. Remember that. Listen carefully. Of course, as long as you brush dungeons frequently, you will definitely dislike these linen sets." He, the classmates laughed one after another. It is obvious that everyone is still very satisfied with the subsidies provided by the school. "Okay, hurry up and put on your gear. Qi Xiao couldn't wait and quickly put on all the linen sets, rings, and weapons. Each part of the linen set provides attributes of 1 spirit and 5 defense. 2 rings each offer 2 points of spirit, a magic wand offers 3 points, and a magic wand offers 1 point. At first glance, it is specifically designed for auxiliary purposes. After putting them all on, Qi Xiao's spiritual attributes increased by a full 16 points. He opened the personal details panel and found a significant improvement in overall strength. The panel is only displayed once, and future equipment update data will be written in the corresponding chapter's author's notes. Health. 120/120, mana value. 132/480, endurance. 12, spirit. 24, power. 3, agile. 3, defense. 16, physical damage. 6, attack speed. 0.0%, parry. 0.3%, dodge and movement speed. 0.3%, spell damage. 48, increase casting speed by 2.4%, mana recovery per second. 2, material damage critical hit rate. 0.0%, dharma damage critical hit rate. 0.3%, critical damage bonus. 0.3%, resistance. 0. Now, his secondary healing technique can restore 98 health points. And the light punishment can deal 66 damage. 480 mana points are enough for him to unleash the light punishment 20 times, which can instantly deal 1584 damage to the target. According to the information provided in the detailed explanation of monsters in the first level dungeon of the Sky Space. In the first level dungeon of the first level, ordinary monsters only have over 400 health points. The health of elite monsters ranges from 1000 to 1500. The leaders of each level in the dungeon usually have health points between 4000 and 6000. These are all data summarized by predecessors, and after repeated argumentation, they are absolutely accurate. As long as I can get through the difficult stage of the current beginner phase, I can definitely find a path of single brushing. Thinking of this, Qi Xiao's heart quickened. Now, he has only one goal, which is to have a mindless mind. All fear stems from insufficient firepower. As long as the firepower is unlimited, Qi Xiao dares to brush through the sky and space. Sure enough, as the mana value increased, Qi Xiao's grasp of instant casting spells became more relaxed. He can now easily cast 8 to 12 healing spells in 1 second. The best result is being cast only 3 times within a second. Without him, only hands are familiar. Not long after, Qi Xiao saw several homeroom teachers wearing different equipment and shapes. They brought their classmates to meet Yumuqing. Qi Xiao visually measured the number of students. Well, only about 30% of the total number of students in this class have arrived. It seems that there are only so many students who have taken up jobs and become students in the combat department. Alright. Let's start grouping now. Yumuqing clapped his hands, grabbed the attention of his classmates, and pointed at Qi Xiao, saying, Qi Xiao stands out. Qi Xiao stood beside Yumuqing. I need to pair this classmate with a physics defense class, as well as teammates from 3 physics output classes. As soon as he said this, he heard a male homeroom teacher named Jiang Yi with a double-edged axe on his back shake his head and tisk, saying, Good guy, teacher your abacus beads are all jumping on my face. What? The cloth armor that comes out must be his, and the rest can only be snatched by the 4 of us in our class. You don't agree. Yumuqing raised his greasy white chin and said arrogantly. That touch of fair and tender skin made Jiang Yi dizzy. Clothing. I dress very well. Jiang Yi looked at the students behind him, scratched his head and pondered for a moment before saying, Shuerueji, Gujun, Duwei, and Ma Lei are out. I saw 4 male classmates standing out from the team. But before they could even take a step, they heard Yu Muqing say, "Hey, hey, can't you find 2 physics melee girls? I think they're pretty good." Yu Muqing extended his green onion finger and pointed to the 2 female classmates standing in the first row behind Jiang Yi. "Hey, what do you mean, Miss Yu? I have to handle the marriage for you, this lover. 1 wife, 1 concubine. Inferior." Yu Muqing's eyebrows furrowed as he said, "Boys are too careless when scrolling through books, and it's easy for them to act recklessly. I need a calm girl to guide me." "Why do you need 2? Is it given or not?" "Give it. It must be given." Jiang Yi saw Muqing angry and immediately compromised. "Teacher Yu is really steady, very calm," said the yin-yang strange airway. So, Jiang Yi asked Du Wei and Ma Lei to return to the team and call for the 2 female students who were favored by Muqing. At this point, Qi Zhao's team has been formed. Looking at the 2 men and 2 women with an unpleasant expression, Qi Zhao felt a headache. My old class is really very considerate. Can such a hateful thing be done? However, as the team's work progresses, the 2 men and 2 women with an unpleasant expression quickly showed a grateful expression on their faces. Because the assistance is not enough. That's right, 16 assistants were quickly divided up. Behind Jiang Yi and a group of homeroom teachers, there are still over 30 students who have not formed a team. For a moment, Jiang Yi, who had previously occupied the moral high ground, became discouraged. I saw him rubbing his hands with a smile on his face, bowing to approach Yu Muqing, who was holding his arms and holding his head high. "Teacher Yu, could you please work hard for our auxiliary classmates in the class later and take these students who are not in the team to play the dungeon again? Type it again." Yu Muqing's outstretched eyebrows were once again inverted. "Do you know that resetting a dungeon requires 100 points? My students are all first-day beginners, unfamiliar with the process, and physically and mentally exhausted. They are all my heartthrobs, the pride of our school, and the future of our country. What if they are exhausted? They are also my students," Jiang Yi said in a mosquito-like voice. Standing at the bottom of the moral valley, he let Yu Muqing point with a gloomy expression. "It's not impossible for me to beat my heart-shaped flesh again. Oh. That's 2. You need to give my heartthrobs extra subsidies. Ah, this. Anyway, you can apply to the principal. What are you afraid of?" Okay. Jiang Yi gritted his teeth and agreed. Chapter 5. Entering a copy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who would like to finish the dungeon later and then accompany the students who haven't entered the textbook to play it again? As soon as Yu Muqing finished speaking, Qi Zhao stepped out. Me. Although points are important, for Qi Zhao, equipment and subsidies are more important. He wished he could take all the remaining 30 or so classmates with him. Okay. I'll add 2 more rooms. 2 female classmates for your team. Jiang Yi gave a thumbs up. And Yu Muqing nodded in satisfaction. She is proud to have such a positive student of her own. They are all old teachers who have taught several generations of students. They are well aware of the energy consumption of brushing books. So unless absolutely necessary, they don't want students to be too tired in the early stages. I am also willing to. Qi Zhao took the lead, and several other auxiliary classmates also expressed their opinions. Soon, all students from the combat department were assigned to teams. And Qi Zhao was even more proactive, taking on the auxiliary tasks of the 3 teams in one breath. This greatly moved Yu Muqing and forced Jiang Yi to personally reward Qi Zhao with 100 bottles of primary magic potions. Jiang Yi could only break his teeth and swallow into his stomach. 100 bottles is better than leaving one's own students without a team. After receiving 100 bottles of primary mana potions from Jiang Yi, Qi Zhao saw Muqing say to Jiang Yi. It's 100 bottles per day. Divine Horse. Teacher Yu, you're going too far. Jiang Yi's intestines could not at this moment. What? I'm going too far. Then please ask Teacher Jiang to ask the auxiliary department students in the third year of high school to help. Qi Xiao, return the medicine, we don't want to brush it yet. Jiang Yi squeezed out a smile that was even uglier than crying and stopped Qi Xiao from trading. Ha ha ha, teacher you misunderstood. I mean, you are also too fond of your class's students. This is not acceptable. 100 bottles per day, it's easy to say. It seems that this year's year-end bonus cannot be guaranteed. He applies for subsidies every day, and the principal still has to scold him to death. After an hour of tugging and tugging, the team was finally assigned. However, before entering the dungeon, students need to collectively return to the real world. Because everyone needs to sign a disclaimer. After adding friends with classmates in the same group, Qi Xiao returned to the classroom. He came to the podium and received 3 disclaimers. Because he needs to go to the dungeon with different classmates from the 3 teams. The general meaning of the statement is that if a student dies in any situation within the Heavenly Space Dungeon, the school and its homeroom teacher shall not assume any responsibility or pay any compensation, and all consequences shall be borne by the student themselves. The declaration shall take effect from the date of signature. This is not difficult to understand. The school cannot bear full responsibility for the serious consequences caused by students' mistakes in the copy. How can the school continue to handle this? From the moment students enter their first year of high school, the school's various subject courses are completely centered around the sky and space. Almost every instance on the first floor of the Heavenly Sky Dungeon area was broken apart and explained clearly to the students. Moreover, only students who have passed the final exams of their second year of high school can ascend to the teleportation platform leading to the heavenly space and awaken their careers. The school has almost taken everything that can be considered to the extreme. If the student still dies after entering the dungeon, then the school cannot be blamed. After signing the disclaimer, Yumuqing did not immediately ask the students to return to the heavenly space, but instead earnestly instructed them. If a classmate dies in battle within the dungeon, don't panic. Contact me as soon as possible and put me in the team to replace your position in the dungeon. I have resurrection skills and can resurrect classmates. Remember. Remember. But if your teammates die in the dungeon and are not rescued in time, do you know what the result will be? I know, being expelled from school, blacklisted, unable to work for a formal company for life, and unable to enjoy the benefits granted to citizens by the state. This is a rule that everyone must memorize since their first year of high school. Great. I hope you can smoothly advance to the next level. Then, you can create a beautiful appearance like a teacher. Old class, you are already a beautiful woman. Ah. My little mouth is so sweet. I'll reward you with 10 bottles of mana potion later. After Yumuqing finished speaking, he looked at Qi Xiao. Qi Xiao, today you need to brush 3 dungeons. Can you keep up with your stamina? Keep up. Thank you for your hard work. It's not hard, there are 100 bottles of magic potions. Qi Xiao grinned. Don't be reluctant to drink. If it's not enough, go find Teacher Jiang again. Good old class. Let's all go. Shwa shwa shwa. As the beams of light flickered, Qi Xiao returned to the heavenly space once again. As for the students in the second and third teams who are temporarily unable to enter the university, they can only move freely for now. They can read and review books in the real world, or go to the sky space for standby strolls. Qi Xiao arrived at the dungeon gate and saw a team of 4 waiting here. They are Meng Yun, the shield warrior, Wang Ling, the assassin, Gu Jun, and Shui Rueji, the axe fighter. After Qi Xiao joined the team, Meng Yun said coldly, "Hurry up and join the team. After finishing the game, disband." She was very dissatisfied with Mu Qing's biased eyes, so she vented her anger on Qi Xiao. It's just an auxiliary, and is it a combination of men and women? Just one word, disgusting. And Qi Xiao is thin and small, looking like a monkey no matter what. After watching all the students enter the dungeon, Yu Muqing and Jiang Yi looked worried. I hope they're okay. I hope they're going smoothly. Jiang Yi clasped his hands and prayed. Ah! If there were Fan Zihan and Hua Xiu leading the team, I wouldn't be so anxious. Yu Muqing rubbed his brow. The top students in my class have all gone to class 2. The sky space is too cruel. The dungeon selected by the team is required by the school to be used in the Sin mine. Several teachers have already explained the copy thoroughly. There are a total of 7 bosses, 94 elite-level monsters, and 35 ordinary monsters in the dungeon. Students must be familiar with their distribution, activity paths, and skills they have mastered. Every other month, the physical fitness class will simulate and practice the dungeon process. However, even so, after Qi Xiao's 5-person team entered the dungeon, Meng Yun's 4 still showed signs of nervousness. Task objective. Eliminate Captain Cliff. I am the captain, I will follow my command later, Meng Yun said. But the teacher said that the captain should provide better assistance, their vision. Wen Ling reminded in a low voice. But Meng Yun pinched her waist and said, now I'm the captain. After seeing the 4 of them not speaking, Meng Yun held a short sword and raised her shield, shouting, I'm charging. Give me more health, you guys keep up. After speaking, she charged forward and took the lead in killing the lonely ordinary monster. Miners, health. 502, damage. 18, defense. 6, the other 3 people saw the situation and quickly followed up. Without using it twice, the miner with 502 health points was chopped to the ground. Immediately, a prompt popped up on the panel of the 5 people. Killed the miner and earned 0.6 points. Meng Yun saw the prompt on the panel and her mouth just slightly curled up. But there was another shout of killing coming from ahead. The scream made by the miner before his death successfully caught the attention of his companions. They raised their heads and shoveled to hit the 5-person team. Qi Xiao glanced over and noticed that there were 15 miners rushing in, so he put on a health-boosting posture. Meng Yun stood at the front of the team with her shield raised, shouting loudly. I pull monsters and assist in increasing health. 4 people stood in front of Qi Xiao, ready for battle. 78, 72, 89, 86, 75. I saw a wave of knives and swords chopping, and 4 fully armed men easily killed all 15 miners. Qi Xiao saw that the 4 of them had not lost blood, so he did not perform any treatment. What, it's so simple. Meng Yun looked disdainfully at Qi Xiao and sarcastically said. Assistance is easy, just follow and you can earn points. Chapter 6. You almost killed everyone just now. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Meng Yun's words were completely ignored by Qi Xiao. He is currently focused on memorizing the terrain of the dungeon, preparing for a single brush. The monster's position is the same as indicated in the textbook. The estimated blood volume is also very accurate. After picking up the items, Wen Ling kindly reminded. Meng Yun, there will be elite monsters in the next mining lane. Don't be careless. Of course I know. Let's go. Although Shui Ruiji and Gu Jun didn't speak, their eyes, like those of Meng Yun, also looked contemptuously at Qi Xiao. Is this pastor really standing behind and eating points hard? Do you consider yourself an uncle? Whenever you cast a damage spell, we will treat it as if you have worked hard. Quickly, the 5 arrived at the next mining section. Although miners are still the main group here, the 5 of them can see the elite monsters patrolling at a glance. Mine Supervisor, Health. 1376, Damage. 67, Defense. 30, I'll restrain the supervisor, you guys kill the miners first. Meng Yun took the lead in killing, ignoring the miners who had discovered her and charging towards the 2 supervisors ahead. Wang Ling was greatly surprised and quickly spoke up to stop it. Meng Yun, the teacher said, you can't fight like this. But it's already too late. Meng Yun, due to her excitement, had already forgotten all the instructions from the teacher in class. She killed 2 supervisors in front and behind, raised her shield and threw it at one of them. When the supervisor who was hit did not shake his body, but with a backhand, he struck with a sword. 60 Qi Xiao discovered that the health bar on Meng Yun's head was instantly reduced by 1.5. And the miners who discovered her also chased after her and sandwiched her in front and back. 18, 0.12, 0.19, 0.47 Meng Yun's health began to rapidly decrease. Qi Xiao and his 4 companions were about to come forward to rescue, but they found more than a dozen miners hidden in the tunnel. They all heard the sound and immediately surrounded them. The team was divided into 2 sections. The melee begins immediately. The 4 of them were already in a state of panic, all relying on their instincts to attack the nearest monster. Watching the 4 people rapidly losing blood, Qi Xiao, who was protected in the middle, began to cast secondary healing spells. Your secondary healing wave has healed 98 health points of Dream Cloud, 0 excessive healing points. Your secondary healing wave has healed 98 health points of Dream Cloud, 0 excessive healing points. Your secondary healing wave has healed Meng Yun's 196 health points, 46 excessive healing points. Your secondary healing wave has healed Dream Cloud's 98 health points, 98 points of excessive healing. Your secondary healing wave has healed Wang Ling's health by 98 points, 0 points of excessive healing. Your secondary healing wave has healed Wang Ling's health by 98 points, 35 points of excessive healing. Your secondary healing wave has healed Wang Ling's health by 98 points, 98 points of excessive healing. Your secondary healing wave has healed Shui Ruizhi by 98 health points, 0 excessive healing points. Just a few times, all 4 people on the brink of death were full of blood. But Qi Xiao also wiped out his mana. Instant hair is refreshing, but the grip on the degree is still slightly rough. But the crisis has not been resolved, and the team is still in a difficult battle. Although the enemy's main force consists of 2 elite supervisors. But everyone doesn't have group attack skills. Surrounded by nearly 20 miners, everyone could only kill them one by one. Qi Xiao decisively drank 2 bottles of secondary mana potion to restore his mana value to 360 points. Subsequently, he squinted his eyes slightly and gave a bright punishment to the elite supervisor standing behind Dream Yun. No, to be precise, it should be 13 bright punishments. He wants to try his instant fire. A thick and long golden light appeared out of thin air. Like a golden giant stick, slammed heavily on the face of the supervisor. Mouth clap. Your light punishment hits the mine supervisor causing 66 points of light damage. Your light punishment hits the mine supervisor causing 66 points of light damage. Your light punishment hits the mine supervisor causing 132 points of light critical damage. The supervisor, who was almost full of health, was knocked down 924 health points by Qi Xiao's sudden throwing of the golden staff. The elite supervisor, who lost 60% of his life, instantly became angry. He left Meng Yun and looked at Qi Xiao, who had casually thrown away 2 empty bottles. But before its eyes was a flash of golden light. The thick and dazzling giant stick hit again. Mouth clap. 0.66, 0.66, 0.198, 0.66. A row of golden damage numbers floated from the supervisor's head. Ah ah ah. The supervisor who was hit let out a scream and fell to the ground with a weak knee. Qi Xiao, who had exhausted his mana, poured 2 bottles of secondary mana potion again. He looked at Meng Yun, whose health was less than half, and slightly hooked his index and middle fingers together. Boom! The brilliant golden light enveloped Dream Cloud. A warm feeling swept over her whole body. Dream Yun is once again full of blood. One golden light after another descended, replenishing the health of Wang Ling, Shui Ruizhi, and Gu Jun. The chaotic war has finally come to an end. Meng Yun, who was full of blood, was still in a state of tension and her body trembled slightly. It was too dangerous just now. If it weren't for Qi Zhao's timely casting of the spell, she would definitely have been killed by 2 supervisors and several miners sandwiched in front and back. Just now, it seems like there was a supervisor who was taken by Qi Zhao. She looked at Qi Zhao and found him kicking the empty bottle under his feet. No way. Meng Yun was greatly surprised. Can we say that the supervisor is him? But at that moment, Wen Ling walked up to her and punched her arm heavily, interrupting Meng Yun's thoughts. Meng Yun. Do you know that you almost killed everyone just now? Do you know that? Do you know that? I. Meng Yun pursed her mouth and rubbed her arm without saying a word. Humph. If this kind of unauthorized behavior happens again, I will sue the class teacher and expel you from the team. There are plenty of guardianship professions in our class. You're not the only one. If it weren't for Qi Zhao's calmness, we would have been blacklisted by you. Meng Yun, who was being pointed at by Wen Ling, could only nod incessantly. She could clearly feel the anger of the 3 of them. As for Qi Zhao at the back of the team, he is currently kicking an empty bottle of divine objects, and I don't know what he is thinking. After cursing Meng Yun, Wen Ling felt very comfortable and turned to look at Qi Zhao, saying, Qi Zhao, thank you. If it weren't for you adding health to us regardless of cost, we would definitely be ruined. It's okay, this is our first time brushing, so be cautious and wait until we become familiar before improving efficiency, Qi Zhao said with a smile as he regained his composure. Then everyone, follow me when Qi Zhao recovers. Qi Zhao, you slowly recover first, and I'll go ahead to investigate. After speaking, Wen Ling entered an invisible state and disappeared in front of the 4 of them. Qi Zhao took out the cool spring water and sat on the ground drinking it. Junior mana potions are for emergency use. In non-combat situations, they are usually eaten bread and drank spring water. Given that Qi Zhao is not very talkative, although the position of captain is still held by Meng Yun, everyone has begun to obey Wen Ling's orders. After 1 minute, Qi Zhao's mana value is fully restored. Meanwhile, Wen Ling, who returned from the investigation, also reappeared. The first leader of the mine is ahead, I will assign tasks. Chapter 7. Hook Fingers. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Foreman. Lazo, Health. 4502, Damage. 218, Defense. 86, Skills. Fly, Slam, Charge, Whirlwind Hammer, Sentinels of Evil, 2, Health. 1200, Damage. 154, Defense. 31, Skill. Shooting, the gate leading to the depths of the mine is tightly locked. The gatekeeper is the foreman Lazo and his 2 sentries. Lazo was wearing armor, and the sound of metal plates colliding could be heard in his stomach. It carried a hammer with both hands on its back and looked around cautiously. And the 2 sentinels next to them are also elite monsters. They were wearing a one-handed sword around their waist and holding a woolen musket. The 5 people in the mine are listening to Wen Ling's assignment of tasks. Master Meng Yun is keeping an eye on Lazo, be sure to pull away and don't let its whirlwind hammer harm us. Okay. Shui Rueji is responsible for restraining the left sentry, while Gujun and I handle the right sentry. Shui Rueji and Gujun nodded and said, yes. Qi Zhao, keep the farthest distance and give the 4 of us health. Lazo will randomly charge us during the battle, and we may faint for 1 second. Don't worry. Qi Xiaobi gave a thumbs up. In the 2nd semester of the 2nd year of high school, the teacher dedicated a month to explaining the killing methods of various leaders in the evil mine, which everyone has memorized. But for the first practical battle, everyone was still very nervous. Okay, then I'll count down 3 seconds. Meng Yun will go first. Shui Rueji and Gujun will follow me and wait for 2 seconds before going up. Meng Yun had lost her arrogance and clenched her shield and one-handed sword. 3, 2, 1, go up. Shua. Meng Yun rushed out first in response. Wenling, Shuerueji, and Gujun silently recited for 2 seconds before walking out of the mine. Lazo, who was guarding the iron gate, laughed heartily when he saw Meng Yun rushing towards him and said, "Haha, a little girl has brought her to your door." The sentry raised his gun and aimed at Meng Yun, shouting, "Then hurry up." Bang bang. Dang dang. The bullets fired from the 2 shots were blocked by Meng Yun, who was at the forefront, holding a shield. Then she struck Lazo with a sword. 27 Wenling and the 3 of them following behind her dispersed and headed towards the agreed-upon target. Meng Yun faced Lazo, who was twice as tall as herself, without fear, retreated and attacked, pulling him away from the 2 sentries. A bunch of bugs. Lazo let out a loud shout, clenched his hands on the hammer, and slammed it heavily on the shield held high by Meng Yun. Meng Yun, unable to withstand gravity, slowly bent her knees. At this moment, Lazo kicked hard. Strike and fly. Bang. 135, Meng Yun flew backwards in response. At this moment, Qi Xiao slowly walked out of the tunnel and looked at Meng Yun, his fingertips slightly hooked. Dream Yun, flying upside down in the air, is shrouded in light, with warm currents warming her whole body. +98, +98, 61 points of excessive treatment. Meng Yun, who had not yet landed, felt full of blood and her eyes lit up, launching a charge directly. Brush. She was like a rainbow, rushing towards Lazo again. First, use a shield to strike fiercely, and then forcefully thrust it out. Puzzy. The short sword pierced through Lazo's armor and plunged into its abdomen. 42. Qi Xiao stood far away against the wall, looking at Wenling and the other 3. His 2 fingers twitched frequently, and golden lights fell from the sky one after another. Instantly enveloped the 3 of them. +98, excess of 30, +98, excess of 45, +98, excess of 80. During the actual battle, Qi Xiao suddenly realized that it seemed that when casting a spell, it was possible to increase control over the frequency of casting by hooking his fingers. Just like pulling the trigger, achieving different functions of shooting and firing consecutively. Among the 4, Shuerueji and Meng Yun had the fastest health, so he needed to hook his fingers a few more times to satisfy the 2. As for Wenling and Gujun, just touched them occasionally. So, Qi Xiao stood bored at the tunnel entrance, holding a staff in one hand and occasionally lightly hooking his fingers with the other hanging hand. Bored, uninteresting, stress-free. Quickly, the sentry who was attacked by Wenling and Gujun fell to the ground and died with a loud shout. The evil sentinel has been killed, and you have earned 1 point. The 2 immediately went to help Shuerueji. 3 people were sandwiched and the other sentry lay down instantly. The evil sentinel has been killed, and you have earned 1 point. So the 3 of them went to help Meng Yun, who was leaning against the rock wall and struggling to support her. Die, bug. Lazo, who sensed the crisis, launched a fierce attack on Meng Yun. Bang. 110, Meng Yun, who was hit, leaned on her forehead and fell into a coma. And Lazo took the opportunity to charge towards the nearest Wenling. Bang. 145, Wenling was hit by the charging Lazo, and her health instantly decreased by 60%, causing her whole body to become paralyzed. But before she could relieve her numbness, Lazo kicked out again. Just before being kicked by Lazo, Jin Guang enveloped Wenling. +98, +98, excess 51, strike and fly. Bang. 176, +98, +98, excess of 30, Wenling, who flew backwards, was constantly shining with golden light on her body. She rolled down twice and got up to find that her health was full. If it weren't for Qi Xiao's timely increase in health, she would definitely have been killed by Lazo for 2 consecutive seconds. After giving a grateful glance at Qi Xiao who was yawning, Wenling grabbed a dagger and rushed towards Lazo. At this moment, Meng Yun was shouting loudly and charging towards Lazo. Bang bang. 4 people surrounded Lazo and fiercely attacked him. 42, 0.55, 0.75, 0.86, 0.33, 0.60, Let the pain be even more intense. Lazo laughed wildly while bathing in blood, gripping the warhammer with both hands and transforming into a spinning top, starting to spin rapidly. Whirlwind. Hammer. Not good. Quickly retreat. Scatter. Wang Ling shouted. Shui Rueji, Gu Jun, and Meng Yun turned around and ran. With the help of the gyroscope, it began to move rapidly and collide back and forth. Bang bang bang. 177, 182, 145, 163. The 4 scattered people couldn't dodge and were only scratched and rubbed by their rotating hands, causing their health to bottom out again. But 4 rays of light almost simultaneously descended from the sky, enveloping the 4 of them. 4 people, once again full of blood. As Lazo was spinning, he noticed Qi Xiao hiding in the distance and rushed straight towards him. Not good. Wang Ling was shocked. Qi Xiao's health is extremely low, only 120, and his movement speed is very slow. It's impossible to withstand Lazo's blow. Meng Yun, go and grab Lazo. If you can't, take the life potion. Make sure to grab it. Yes. Meng Yun gritted her teeth and raised her shield to launch a charge. As soon as I approached, I was hit by a hammer with both hands. Bang. 194, Dream Yun, who flew backwards, once again saw the bottom of her health. But a few people found that Qi Xiao was just hooking his fingers, and Meng Yun's health was restored to full again. At the same time, facing the spinning and rushing top, he calmly took out 2 bottles of medicine. Tons, tons, tons. Qi Xiao. Run quickly. Run towards the door. No, run towards Meng Yun. Oh my. I remember now. Gu Jun patted his head and said, we shouldn't have been playing together just now. Playing together can easily activate Lazo's whirlwind hammer. The teacher clearly highlighted the key points. A few people killed too smoothly just now, forgetting such an important matter. Damn it. It's useless to remember now. I'll stop it. Shui Rueji gritted his teeth and rushed out. But at this moment, they saw Qi Xiao throw away the empty bottle in his hand. As his eyes narrowed slightly, a golden stick with thighs thick and thin appeared out of nowhere, hitting Lazo's spinning forehead heavily. That is the 24 overlapping light punishments. Chapter 8. I'm lucky to strike critical. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Mouth clap. 66.66, 0.66, 0.133, 0.66, 0.66, 0.66, 0.66. After being hit by the thin golden light on Lazo's thigh, rows of damage numbers jumped directly from its head. Lazo, who had been heavily hit, let out a muffled groan and stopped spinning. It stumbled and stood steadily a few steps away from Qi Xiao. Its blood streaks instantly cut off. Qi Xiao shook his head slightly inside as he saw the situation, calculating in his heart, the mana value is too low to drop in seconds. To single sweep the well of sin, you still need 48 points of spirit and at least 1400 mana points, and this can only be done in seconds. Now. Up. Wang Ling gave the order and the 4 of them rushed forward. Kill. Between the light and shadow of the sword, Lazo, who struggled to climb up, was chopped to death by 4 people before reaching Qi Xiao. Killed Lazo and earned 3 points. At the moment when Lazo fell to the ground, 2 pieces of equipment fell from him. Hammer of Lazo, quality. Excellent, category. 2-handed hammer, physical damage. 46, attack speed. 3.20 seconds, equipment. Required strength 10, foreman armor, quality. Excellent, category. Chest and lock armor, defense. 25, Power +1, Equipment. Requires Strength 5, the two-handed hammer should be Shwerueji's. Because he is a battle axe fighter, he mainly uses two-handed weapons. Sleeping slot. This is my equipment. He clicked on the requirement on the interface with trembling hands. However, the equipment did not enter the personal space. He was very puzzled and didn't know why he couldn't pick it up. Soon, everyone discovered the suspicion. I saw Mengyun pursing her lower lip tightly, her eyes fixed on her hammer. She also wants it. Mengyun, although you can also use it, this is obviously not suitable for you. You need a one-handed weapon and shield, advised Wenling. I know. She hesitated for a few seconds before choosing to give up. Shwerueji took a deep breath and immediately equipped the two-handed hammer that was put into the backpack. When the hammer appeared on Shwerueji's back, Mengyun snorted coldly and tilted her head. The rest is the foreman's armor. Shwerueji, you have hammered with both hands. This breastplate should prioritize Mengyun, said Wenling. I know. Shwerueji happily gave up his breastplate. But Mengyun showed no mercy, clicked on the demand to take away the equipment and immediately put it on her body. After finding the key to open the iron door from Lazo, Wenling said to Qi Shao. Qi Shao, what were you doing just now? Oh, unlucky, I hit a critical hit. 4 people. Critical strike. The 4 of them looked at Qi Shao with suspicion. What kind of critical strike can take a big cut of Lazo's health and deceive ghosts? No need to think, it must be a talent, maybe he really has critical strike talent. But Qi Shao did not explain, and everyone felt embarrassed to ask more questions. Walking to the iron gate, Wenling inserted the key. But she didn't rush to open the door, but said to everyone, after opening the door, 3 elite monsters will rush over and prepare for battle. After seeing that the team members' health and Qi Zhao's mana were full, Wenling turned the key. Click. A crisp sound came from the lock eye, and then Wenling pushed hard. As the iron gate slowly opened, the 3 elite monsters standing at the entrance of the cave exclaimed in surprise. Enemy invasion. Report to NID Foreman quickly. A miner followed the instructions of the elite and ran towards the depths of the mine. Qi Shao stood behind and was far from the iron gate. He was about to remind Wenling to chase the miners, but Wenling ordered a battle directly. Kill. Shwerueji, who was replaced with the hammer of Lazo, was like a god of war, hammering a quarter of the health of an elite monster with one hammer. Haha. You're so cool. Mengyun grabbed the other 2 elites. She changed into a lock armor and now it's easy for her to carry 2 elites. Wenling and Gu Jun cooperated with Shwerueji, and they quickly replaced one with another. 3 elite monsters were instantly killed within seconds. Don't be fooled by the fact that all 4 of them are melee fighters without group attack skills. But there is a theory behind the purely physical output team. This configuration has a proprietary term called the kitchen knife team. In terms of the efficiency of brushing dungeons, the kitchen knife team can be higher than the physical law mixed team. They saw blood on their swords and didn't give the monster any time to react, highlighting a ferocity. After killing 3 elites, the 4 of them saw Qi Shao still standing behind and yawning, so they confidently rushed into the next mining lane. Now, they will no longer despise Qi Shao for being in a daze. Invisible elder brother Qi Shao is their reassuring pill. No wonder Jiang Laoban, who usually exudes a fierce and proud demeanor, boasting about his achievements, turned into a humble and obedient old dog upon seeing Yumuqing. Inside the mine, the screams of elite monsters kept coming out. Mengyun charges, the 3 of them shine their swords, it's over. Mengyun charged again, and the 3 of them rushed forward, ending. The 4-person team of kitchen knives, with tacit cooperation, now refers to whoever points, who dies. After seeing the door of the logging workshop open, 5 people knew that there was the second little leader in the workshop, Ned, the lumberjack. At this moment, it is already sitting inside the logging machine. Weng Ling, who had returned from hiding, said with a serious expression. "Excuse me, this leader is sitting in the lumberjack. If we want to kill it, we need to destroy the lumberjack first. There are 9 elite monsters in the workshop who are standing very close and have already put on a defensive posture. Therefore, we should follow the teacher's strategy and quickly pull them out before the foreman drives the logging machine to kill them. In a moment, I'll throw the flying knife. Meng Yun, please stand near the cave entrance and try to hold on to them all, don't let them throw axes around." "Okay." Meng Yun nodded vigorously. She now believes in Qi Zhao's technique and is sure nothing will happen. Weng Ling approached the cave entrance again and threw a dart towards the nearest elite monster. "Ah! The invaders are here." The foreman Ned shouted, "Kill them all. Kill me." 9 elite monsters rushed towards the cave entrance with their logging axes held high. And the NID foreman sat in the cockpit, operating the logging machine. Kaka kaka. The lumberjack made a heavy noise and slowly drove towards the mine. Meng Yun clenched her shield and one-handed sword, feeling extremely nervous. This time she is under immense pressure to contain 9 elite monsters. They're coming out. Upon hearing Weng Ling's prompt, Meng Yun, who was hiding behind the cave entrance, stepped forward. She smashed a shield at one elite with her left hand and chopped at another elite with a one-handed sword with her right hand. In an instant, 2 monsters were grabbed by her. Then, she stepped forward again, struck the third one with her sword, and then hit the fourth one with a shield. Even if the elite monster behind her chops her, she ignores it. Up. Weng Ling rushed out first and charged towards the elite monster that Meng Yun was the first to attack. Qi Xiao stood in the distance, facing Meng Yun with one shield on the left and one sword on the right, constantly twitching his fingers. Fortunately, the 9 elite monsters did not rush to Meng Yun's side at the same time, so their attack frequencies were not consistent. This is the only way for Qi Xiao to rely on his talent of calming down and ensuring that Meng Yun is always surrounded by golden light. +98, +98, +98, +98, +98, excess of 13, if it were for other talents or 9 monsters attacking at the same time, it would be considered hard for Meng Yun to stand for more than a second. Weng Ling, who was besieging elite monsters, noticed that Qi Xiao was pouring primary mana potion recklessly and loudly encouraged him, saying, "Qi Xiao, please hold on a little longer and don't stop. I'll be ready soon." Chapter 9. Woodcutter Ned. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't worry. Qi Xiao kept pulling the trigger with one hand and taking out the magic potion from his personal space with the other. It has to be said that the playing style of these 5-person teams is too rough. Weng Ling seems to be directing the battle, but apart from loudly reminding in critical moments, it is of little use. Even if they don't shout, the team members know what to do. Along the way, none of the 4 members of the team remembered the key points taught by the teacher in class. If it weren't for Qi Xiao standing up at a critical moment, the team might have died at Lazo's place. Finally, after continuous combat, all 9 elites fell to the ground. During this period, Qi Xiao even secretly released the bright punishment several times while the 4 of them were not paying attention. Otherwise, waiting for Ned, who was driving the lumberjack, to join the battle, the team would have to be more passive. Kaka kaka. The sound of machinery coming from the logging room is getting closer and closer. Before Weng Ling could catch her breath, she said to all the staff, "Prepare for battle, Ned is here." Qi Xiao, can you continue? Easy. Qi Xiao patted his chest, indicating no problem. Weng Ling nodded in appreciation and said to Meng Yun, "Ned will come in a while, and you can take it back to the logging room. This place is too narrow." "I know." Meng Yun said and lifted her sword and shield to rush out. Subsequently, Wen Ling and the others followed. And Qi Xiao once again poured 2 bottles of magic potion and slowly moved forward. Foreman Ned's logging machine, health. 3855, damage. 193, defense. 185, skills. Electric saw cutting, sweeping, heavy blow. Meng Yun rushed into the logging room and saw that Ned had almost walked to the door. She was momentarily stunned, then gritted her teeth and bravely charged, chopping at the iron window in the driver's cab. Ding ding dang dang. The short sword slashed on the iron window grid, causing only a few sparks, and the damage was completely scraping 0.5, 0.7, 0.3, 0.1, 0.1. No, it's too hard, I can't hold on at all. Meng Yun felt her palms tingling and kept retreating. Even if you can't hold on, hold on. Go. Wang Ling and the others circled around the lumberjack and began to launch an attack. 0.9, 0.11, 0.7, 0.13, 0.1, 0.1. They worked hard to chop, but when Qi Xiao walked into the logging room, they didn't cut off a few hundred health points. Haha. A bunch of trash. I really don't know how Lazo died in your hands. Go ahead and die. Nidra lifted the steering lever and then gripped the chainsaw arm lever of the lumberjack. Go, go, go. The chainsaw began to rotate at high speed. Then Ned pushed forward forcefully. The chainsaw arm of the lumberjack bounced out. Ned shouted, electric saw cutting. Ha ha ha. Meng Yun's eyes were sharp and her hands were fast, so she quickly raised her shield to block it. Bang. Click. Her wooden shield shattered instantly upon contact with the chainsaw. Subsequently, a large piece of the left arm and chest were cut off by a chainsaw. 244. Meng Yun screamed and looked like she was dying. A brilliant golden light descended from the sky, instantly enveloping Meng Yun. The arm that was about to fall to the ground was also wrapped in golden light and suspended in mid-air. After flying towards Meng Yun again, the wound began to heal rapidly. Plus 98, plus 98, plus 98, 50 points of excessive treatment, plus 98, 98 points of excessive treatment. Meng Yun, who was sitting on the ground, found that the pain had disappeared and her arms were also connected. She was stunned when she heard Qi Xiao shouting loudly. Lie down. Ah. Oh. Meng Yun obediently lay down. Whoosh. The chainsaw swept over the tip of her nose as she lay down. Don't get up, roll over and pick up the shield. Qi Xiao kicked the broken shield at his feet. Aha. The obedient Dream Yun rolled on the ground, escaped from the range of the chainsaw attack, and climbed towards Qi Xiao with her little butt sticking out. Alright, go ahead. Aha. Meng Yun picked up the shield, drew her short sword, and turned around to charge out again. The 3 people chasing behind the lumberjack suddenly turned around and saw the high-speed rotating chainsaw sweeping towards them. Shwa shwa shwa. Unable to avoid them, they were all chopped down and 3 pillars of blood flew rapidly. 200, 0.237, 0.215. At the moment when the 3 dying people fell to the ground, a golden light descended. Qi Xiao once again restored them to their best form. Who it's so close. Pop. Sitting up, Gu Jun slammed his head and said, I remember. The teacher repeatedly emphasized in class that before attacking Ned, we must first kill the miners who report the message behind the iron gate. This way, without warning, Ned will not operate the logging machine, but will inspect it. We don't need to attack Ned while driving the logging machine. Ned while driving is invincible. Damn it, why did you remember halfway through the fight? Stop talking nonsense, go ahead. Shui Ruiji grabbed a hammer and rushed to the front door of the lumberjack's cockpit. I'll smash it. Duong. 144, the cabin door of the logging machine was deformed by Shui Ruiji's hammer. Sleeping trough. The weakness is actually the cabin door. Wang Ling patted the soil and stood up, saying, then hurry up and smash it. Good June, let's go help Meng Yun. Okay. Shui Ruiji blew his hand and grabbed the sledgehammer, starting to smash fiercely. 80.80. The four people who hit their heads began to chop around the lumberjacks again. This time they became smarter, no longer blindly chopping, but finding the weakness of the logging machine. Pierce east and pound west. The damage caused to the logging machine has actually increased. Ding ding dang dang. Duong. Ned, sitting in the cockpit, was dizzy and nauseous due to the noise of a sledgehammer hitting the door. After seeing the lumberjack malfunction, it could no longer withstand it and pressed the cabin opening button. Bang! The opened hatch knocked Shui Ruiji, who was swinging a hammer, flying away. Then I saw Ned jump out of the cabin. Chop it to death for me. Meng Yun's eyes were red and her hair was disheveled as she was tormented by the logging machine. The half sleeve of her left arm is long gone. The gap below the left chest of the lock armor reveals the white and greasy skin. Logging foreman Ned, health. 2240, damage. 79, defense. 22, skills. Disarming, throwing, ah. You have destroyed everything, I will kill you. Ned, who drew out his dagger, shouted loudly. Facing the red-eyed kitchen knife team. Nid, who has no lumberjacks and only 2,000 health points, is now the meat on the chopping board. Oh. Really? Let's try the knife first. Hammer smashing, sword chopping, knife chopping, dagger stabbing. After 5 seconds, Ned, covered in holes, turned into a meat sieve without even using any skills. Nid has been killed, you have earned 3 points. Pop, pop. At the moment Ned fell, 2 pieces of equipment fell out of him. Before the 4 of them could pick it up, they heard another crisp sound from the lumberjack. Creak. Bang. I saw the cabin door of the lumberjack pop out and roll down to Meng Yun's feet. Sleeping trough. It's 3 exquisite equipment. Looking at the 3 pieces of equipment emitting blue light on the ground, the 4 members of the team exclaimed in surprise. Did you not listen to the lecture in Chapter 10? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Beaming blade, quality. Excellent, category. Dagger, physical damage plus 30, attack speed. 1.25 seconds, equipment. Requires strength of 8, requires agility of 6, saw blade quality. Excellent, category. One-handed sword, physical damage plus 40, attack speed. 2.40 seconds, power plus 3, agile plus 2, equipment. Required strength 10, precision iron hatch cover, quality. Excellent, category. Shield, defense plus 92, endurance plus 7, agile plus 2, power plus 2, equipment. Required strength 12, 3 pieces of equipment shimmering with brilliant blue light made 4 people's eyes ache. Wow, that's a great dagger. Wang Ling's voice was soft and crisp. Crouching slot, this one-handed sword must be mine. Gujun gasped heavily. My shield is broken, this shield must be mine. Pop pop pop. 3 pieces of equipment disappear instantly. In an instant, Wang Ling changed into a dagger, and Gujun showed his saw blade. And Meng Yun carried a miniature version of the logging cabin door on her back. Shui Ruiji pursed his lips and looked at Gujun's excellent saw blade, as well as his excellent hammer, which instantly lost its fragrance. The difference in quality is really huge. After the 3 of them were excited, Wang Lingshun calmed down first. She walked up to Qi Xiao and comforted him. Qi Xiao, don't worry, there is still a leader behind, there must be your equipment. Yeah. Even if we don't have it today, we still have to do it tomorrow. We almost do this dungeon every day during the summer vacation, and sooner or later everyone will graduate. Meng Yun comforted with a gloating look. Although Gujun nodded in the distance, he was laughing wildly in his heart. Oh my, teacher, you has 1,000 calculations. If you don't count the leader, you won't lose your equipment, TSK, several people thought to themselves at the same time. I know, let's hurry up and brush up quickly. I have 2 more games to play later. As soon as they said this, the 4 of them completely woke up. That's right, Qi Xiao still has 2 more games to play, and he must be accumulating equipment quickly. Thinking of this, a few people walked down the next tunnel. At this moment, with several well-equipped kitchen knife teams, their combat power has significantly improved. Especially Dream Yun, who holds the hatch cover, is indestructible. Faced with 3 elite monsters, she was like an indestructible rock, losing only 1 or 2 drops of health at most. And Wang Ling and the other 3 were even more fierce. A few elite monsters were as fragile as tofu in front of the 3 of them. Qi Xiao followed behind, seemingly relaxed and comfortable. In fact, he was secretly counting the total number of monsters killed by the team. As we all know, more than 50 monsters have been killed so far, including 35 ordinary miners, 24 elite monsters, and 2 bosses. I can earn 0.6 points for an ordinary miner, 1 elite monster, and 3 bosses. If I were to brush alone, I should be able to earn 255 points. Even if I don't kill Ned and only clear the small monsters in front, I can still earn 240 points. After deducting the reset 100 points, I can earn 140 points steadily. Counting to this point, Qi Xiao's heart is beating faster. The idea of brushing alone is completely feasible. Hold on for a few more days at most until the equipment is in shape and the attributes meet the standards. Although I have to spend 3 times a day with my classmates brushing, there are 100 bottles of mana potions left, and I just need to brush them alone during the remaining free time. A determined mind is a strong one. Qi Xiao, with a clear goal, had already begun to conceive of a single brush strategy while the kitchen knife team was still addicted to killing monsters. In just a few minutes, there was no more movement inside the mine. The monsters have all been killed. Wang Ling remained invisible and went ahead to gather intelligence. Good June, is there anything to pay attention to inside the smelting hull? Shui Ruizhi asked with lingering fear. Ah. Are you asking me? Nonsense, aren't you able to recall it with just a tap on the forehead? Why are you asking me about what the teacher has said? Hurry up, do you have it? Let me think about it. After a brief silence, Good Jun shook his head and said, No, this smelter is just a regular gameplay. Just be careful to interrupt its casting. Are you sure? Believe it or not. Okay. Are you not listening in class? I'll listen to him. He's talking about 2 different things, we can't confuse them. At this moment, Qi Xiao was also searching for memories in his mind. Unfortunately, there was the things taught by the teacher in class are just like the textbooks on his desk, clean to the point where no words are left. I have truly practiced the poem of leaving innocence in the world. Predecessors, do you just sleep in class except for working? Qi Xiao roast in his heart. He is curious about how his predecessor passed the exam. Soon, when Lingyuan Road returned. She revealed her figure and said, there are 15 elite monsters, all equipped with mechanical puppets. As the teacher mentioned in class, puppets have very little health and can be eliminated with just a few hits. The main one is Nigel, the smelter. There are 2 puppets next to it that need to be dealt with first. Meng Yun, after opening the monster for a while, you should keep Negra away from the furnace. It will sprinkle molten iron and cause painful range damage. If there is any remaining strength, pull away another mechanical puppet. It's easy. Meng Yun patted the shield and said. The 3 of us prioritized dealing with puppets. Okay. Shui Ruizhi and Good Jun nodded. Then prepare for action. Wait. Shui Ruizhi stopped the 3 and asked Good Jun, there's really nothing to add, right? No more. Nigel is the simplest in the dungeon. Okay. I have no problem now. Then I'll count down 3, 3, 2, 1, up. Wang Ling waved her hand and Meng Yun rushed out. Qi Xiao and his 4 companions quickly followed. On the long downhill spiral corridor, elite monsters lead puppets scattered sporadically. The team, led by Meng Yun, engaged in battle with the elite monsters. The sound of boiling iron juice in the furnace suppresses the sound of metal hitting. They calmly arrived at the steps of the furnace and saw Neg, the smelter, pounding weapons at the anvil from a distance. Smelter Nige, health. 2660, damage. 200, defense. 100, skills. Molten iron water, puppet assault, molten iron arrow, throwing iron sand. Beside it, 2 puppets each performed their duties, one holding a toolbox and the other holding a leather bag. Remote control puppet, health. 1234, damage. 172, defense. 20, Wang Ling made an attacking gesture when he saw that the team was in good condition. As their arms swung down, the 4 of them rushed out. Meng Yun slammed a shield at the puppet holding the leather bag, and with a sword, she slashed at Nigel's forehead. Wang Ling and the other 3 rushed to the puppet holding the toolbox and launched a fierce attack. 0.75, 0.124, 0.33, 0.49, 0.57, 0.83. This raid went very smoothly, and the health points above Nigel's head were passing at a visible speed to the naked eye. A team equipped with sophisticated weapons can easily destroy 2 remote-controlled puppets. Qi Xiao stood behind, not even needing to make a move. If nothing unexpected happens, the battle is coming to an end. When there were no accidents, there was actually an accident. I saw Nigel Red grabbing a handful of iron sand from his arms and sprinkling it at the 4 people who were besieging it.